I see you riding around town with a girl I like, and I'm like, welcome to Whatculture, for the first time officially with the full Council of Adams. Isn't that right? Because you got your name back
I'm
now.
Adam again.
Yay.
Welcome back.
That informal term we dubbed the three of us finally applies for the last ever Whatculture. Well,
Indeed.
presumably, if we all don't. If we all live that long, we might do another one. But it's 2019,
Yeah,
isn't it,
good luck.
lads? And who wants to be presumptuous? I am joined by Adam Blompier and whoever the hell you think you are, bringing your own notes to the table. Would you like to explain that one?
Well, it's a long episode. There's a lot to get through, and I feel like I'd probably forget to mention some things.
Blompier hasn't got prompts. Why are you not on his level?
Because I'm an amateur.
Very honest of
That's
you.
right.
Shall we get started?
That's right. Don't look at me.
Although I did remember what happened to Arya in that episode that you thought she just kept going. So
Yes.
Look, I just riffed these.
Your track record with these is not great.
I'm very much doing you both a favour by being here.
This is the only video you get replaced in and there's no complaints.
Bull.
Yeah,
Swear
so
right off the bat.
the last episode in the season. It's been a few days because we've all been taking time off from running a goddamn wrestling promotion.
Yes, which you don't care about because Game of Thrones, Dragon and the Wolf.
Dragon and the Wolf, yeah, the last, 7 episodes. No, I can't believe that's it. It's over. Not even 2 months of this, and now it's finished.
It's gone.
For ages.
It's gone forever.
But
2019.
2019, apparently it could be, but it could be any time. To be honest,
in a way, I'm kind of glad that they haven't set a fixed date because I don't really want them rushing the last series. But
you glad they
yes.
haven't set a fixed date.
Yes.
Why? Why do you not like solid things in your life?
Because I don't want them going, let's just hurry up and wrap
Rush
this up.
it in.
Yeah, really bad CGI for the last end.
No, I'm
Like
sorry,
Adam
episode.
Cleary's dissertation. Just doing
Yeah.
it all in the last 3 days.
I got a first for that. By the way. I got a first for that, and I worked my arse off. No, you need solid structure in your life. Would you like to have jelly instead of a front door?
What?
No,
I
when
do
you reach
like
out,
jelly.
you want to touch something.
I'm a big fan of jelly.
God, you make me sick. Right. Speaking of things that didn't make any sense, why the hell were the Unsullied outside of King's Landing unscathed? How's that happened? The opening scene, the final episode, was Jaime and Bronn, maybe it is all Cox in the end, looking out at 8. I got slaughtered for saying tens of thousands in ups and downs, because apparently she bought 8,000 Unsullied back in the day. I got absolutely peppered with insults. The kind of things I usually reserve for you.
Don't you watch the show?
Don't you know it's only 8,000 Unsullied, or less now? They're all standing outside of King's Landing. We've had no real indication how they got away from Castle Rock. Have I missed that? Or was it just, did they just
Look,
kind of
how
go,
do people
"They're
get
back"?
anywhere in this season?
That's true. Unimpeded, apparently.
They take the magical Willy Wonka lift. I really like this scene, first of all, because Jaime and Bronn make every scene they're in better.
Yes.
But also, I just really like the side-by-side comparison of the two armies. I think it's brilliant. It's like Bert and Ernie, but in warfare terms.
Bert and Ernie in warfare terms. We just get to unpack that one.
Yeah, the Unsullied are Ernie.
And the Dothraki.
No,
Bert.
the Unsullied are Bert. Very kind of put together, no dick. And the Dothraki are very much Ernie, the chaotic id of the Sesame Street world.
Bert has no dick, that is correct. Which took us on to our best line. Obviously it's the best line of the season. Maybe it is all Cox in the end, because it so nicely sums everything up about Game of Thrones. Maybe it is all
And
Cox.
how all the people who are winning the Games of Thrones do not have the
Cox.
peepees.
Yes, which I quite liked. Wasn't really much happening here, but when we got to the big meeting of all the leaders, we had a lovely little setup, just a few little scattered shots of many reunions and meetings.
Love that.
I've made a little list of my favourite, and we'll go through them. Tyrion and Pod.
Yes.
That was lovely, wasn't it?
Absolutely great. As I've mentioned before, I love Pod. The fact he survived this season was a joy to me. Even though I was a bit worried when Bronn just went, "Come over here." I was like, "No, don't do this to me."
Do you know
now.
why they did that?
Oh, I know, yeah.
They did that because Bronn, Robson Green, or Jerome, whichever one he is.
I
Jerome.
found this out literally yesterday, and it blows my mind.
He can't be in the same scene as Lena Headey because they went out and they hate each other. So, come on, let's go for a drink. Seamlessly done. Let's go for a drink.
But they're so awkward for Game of Thrones.
Just one shot of them just walking off, being like, "Where are they going?" There you go. Bye.
I can't be here for this scene. Be honest. You can stand next to each other. Lena Headey's getting paid like $2 million an episode, isn't she?
That must
crazy.
burn. That must burn for him.
Yeah, but he's all that Robson Drone.
Yeah,
money.
he's got had a number one. Come on.
He has
He
that
sang
Unchained
Unchained
Melody.
Melody. And his mate's off doing extreme fishing. Maybe he'll pop up in the last season.
I love this.
Robson has
I
to
love this.
show
I
up.
love when we hang out during the week and I hear my own jokes
Yeah.
repeated back to me
Yeah.
on Whatculture later.
Oh,
I love
God.
that.
Here it
I love
comes.
that. How
It's
do
like-
you,
it's
how
like
do you
Bran,
know
isn't
about
it? Just
Robson?
repeating
I know
Green's
about. I
extreme
already
fishing?
knew. Don't you dare
course
accuse me
you
of not
did.
knowing about Robson Green's
When's it on?
extreme fishing.
What channel?
Wednesdays at 9 on Pick. I don't know.
It's on Dave.
I don't watch it.
Pick?
Pick.
Dave. Brienne and the Hound. I loved that.
Yep, just like, oh, you're
So
still alive.
no hard feelings about all of that.
Yeah.
Just trying to protect. He didn't mention, surely if he wanted to win back, obviously, there's quite a lack of dignity involved in nearly being murdered by somebody.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to reclaim that, all you had to do was be like, met your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Met your boyfriend. What? Met your boyfriend. Big ginger lad. He's not my boyfriend. He is your boyfriend, though, isn't he? Met your boyfriend.
Just the fact that he was openly really happy about Sansa and I still being alive.
Yeah.
His little "Arya, that's my girl" smirk that he had.
That's a nice reunion coming at some point. I personally didn't think there was any need to resolve the Hound and Brienne. I thought that was a very open and shut case. But that little bit there, I was wrong about that. I needed that.
So much history. There's just, it's like you say, it's like it's like the generation game conveyor belt of just like, oh, we have got past here. Like Euron looking at Theon.
That's my next one. Euron
Go
and
on.
Theon. Now, I don't think that was the one I think they didn't nail because he's got her sister and he even says, I've got your sister.
Yeah.
And I know at this point Theon's still supposed to be a relatively broken man. But he was just like, oh, okay. That sucks. Like, surely there should have been a
Episode
bit
arc,
more.
though, mate.
I know. But I just thought at the time, react a bit more. I mean, he got more of a rise out of Tyrion for making a dwarf joke, which he's heard a million of in his life, than going, got your sister. Got your sister.
Got a hint of Clegane Bowl though.
Yes, find the last one. Was a lot of people wanted Clegane Ball in this season to happen properly, and we didn't get it. All we got was a little 5-second interaction between them.
But what a
But
5 seconds.
was it enough? Was that good enough? Because I was happy with that.
I think had it been just a stare down, no. But the way it was presented and what the Hound said, it just makes me so
He
excited.
said,
for-
"Don't forget who's coming."
This
for
is
you."
a
You
new-
know
yeah.
what is it? What or who? It's who, isn't it? You know who's coming for you. You've always known.
Was it say this isn't the end for you, brother? Is that
Yeah, this isn't the end. This isn't how it ends for you.
That's it, yeah.
Because effectively, like the mountain is essentially just a set of like horror movie eyes behind a hat.
He's a
now.
Franken Mountain.
Yeah, oh, that's good. That is good.
Or a mountain stone.
Well, Franken Mountain's monster. Franken Mountain was the doctor, mate.
Frankenstein's mountain.
Kaiborn
Surely.
is Franken Mountain.
Yeah.
Kaiborn Franken Mountain.
There we go.
That's his name.
Yeah, but was that good enough? Are you happy with that as Clegane Bowl fans?
Yeah. It's hard to be satisfied with foreshadowing in Game of Thrones because one of their favorite things is to swerve foreshadowing.
Yes.
So like you can only really say you're satisfied when the thing you want to happen happens. But surely Clegane Bowl is coming.
I think that's
Who's
gonna be
taking down the mountain other than the Hound?
That's going to be the name of one of the episodes, probably. Just Clegane Bowl.
Clegane Bowl.
Yep.
Woo!
To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised because I read a thing saying that like the one negative you say about this show now is that when it was an adaptation of George R.R. Martin's books, it was fantastic, and now it's effectively the writers going on Reddit searching all like the fan service bits by most popular post and then making episodes about them. So it wouldn't surprise me if an episode was literally called Clegane Bowl because they know we want it so badly.
Clegane wins lol.
Clegane wins, lol. Oh god, whoever wins, Clegane wins. That's a terrible strapline for it, isn't it? So then Dany arrived. After the very reasonable question of where is she, Dany arrived.
Has to make
on
an
a
entrance,
dragon.
doesn't she?
Yes.
Bloody hell, diva.
By the way, what an idiotic move bringing 2 dragons because, like, one's fine, one is fine. And if you bring one, it doesn't telegraph that you've lost one.
Yeah.
Whereas if you bring 2, it telegraphs that you've lost one. What a divvy. She arrives, they go through the whole rigmarole of the, here is our undead.
Can we just point out that Cersei choosing the place of their meeting being the place where dragons used to be kept chained?
And
Lovely
then
little,
died.
lovely little,
Oh,
just like.
I realised this in the midst of shooting ups and downs. I properly fancy Cersei now. I used to fancy Lena Headey.
Yeah.
Like, I quite happily would admit I fancied Lena Headey. Now, I fancy Cersei.
God, that's telling.
And
isn't
I want her to do untold evil to me.
Jesus.
I want that. I want her to end me in some way.
Spit in your mouth and kill your children.
Anyway, where are my notes? Right, so the undead turns up. Everybody's scared of it. Oh God, timestamp for the swear word. And Euron leaves. Did anybody actually think that was Euron leaving?
I'll be honest. I thought the White Walker might have been dead for a split second when it didn't come out.
Oh, or he just looked in the box.
I
And
just
there was
thought,
no one on it.
oh, no.
God, imagine.
Well, someone's accidentally killed the bloke who created him, and it's just dust, and they're like, "Oh no!"
Turns out they can suffocate as well.
I generally, call me a basic bitch, but I thought Euron had gone because he is a cow. You know, because him being a coward makes sense. Even though, like, he's, I guess, like Jack Sparrow, and he runs into battle on a magical ship, and you know has killed many men. I love the idea of just the undead being like, nope.
Oh,
Bye. Can they swim? Great. Bye.
The only
That'd be
bit that
me.
telegraphed it for me was when he said, I've been all over the world. And that's the worst thing I've ever seen. I was like, no, it's not. Come along now. There must be a Kraken somewhere in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
There's no way that's as scary.
You've
thing
seen
you've
like
ever
a
seen.
really bad fish. Come on. Dreadful fish. Oh, it's horrible. What are the things with the light on it?
Fish with terrible opinions.
Gross. Trash fish.
The Wire is overrated.
Don't worry, Robson Green's here to save it.
Extreme fishing. He left. And then she sort of said, oh, well, you know, this is bad. Let's make a bit of peace. But Jon, you have to not take up arms. Now,
Just lie. Just lie. I was shouting, just lie at the telly. Just lie. Everyone else has.
he seemed quite okay with the fact that this was one of the women, or one of the people, rather, involved in the plot to behead what he at the time still believed was his father.
Yeah.
He was
still does.
He was okay with it. You know, he's like, "Oh, I can't do that. I can't lie to you.
I need allies.
I'm gonna
Powerful
not do
allies.
all that. Like, no, I can't lie
I
to
wish
you."
I could lie.
Is the main one of the main themes of this season that telling the truth gets you in trouble?
Who else has done it?
Literally everybody at some point.
Examples?
They're not on my notes. The concept is, but not the examples. Loads of them. You want loads of people. Tyrion's done it like 3 times.
I mean, he's given bad counsel. Does that count as like...
It is one of the themes. We'll move on.
Right.
Thanks for that.
Sorry.
Did you actually think that Cersei was genuinely bothered about the North taking up arms against her? They would never march south again. Surely.
I mean, the King of the North's not supposed to march south, right? They're superstitious bastards.
Yes. So was that like, but given everything that was presented to us?
I think
looking back,
she's
on it,
just trying to split everyone up, isn't she? She knows that
Divide and conquer.
The only way that Lannisters come out of this is if everyone destroys each other first, which eventually turns out to be
that
a
was her
final
plan.
Yeah.
That was weak. There's a weak plan, in my opinion. Then. A later plan was much better than just stop them being pals.
Especially when that plan hinged upon Jon Snow being idiotically noble. Like,
Yes.
to the point of it making no sense. Because he could have just said, all right, and she would have been like, now I have...
No.
Okay, so my men will see you
Really?
at the wall then, I guess.
Oh, it's good of you. I guess. Yeah, I can't.
We'll catch you up. You set off. I've got a chicken out. It's defrosting, so I need to. I'll catch up with you.
No, I am coming out. I am coming out.
The hound's head just whipping around like that at the mention of chicken. Right, so she says she's not going to do it. She storms off. Tyrion goes to counsel her, let's say. Is this one of the best scenes of, certainly the episode, but is this one of the best scenes of the season?
Yes.
Why?
It's new. It's like the characters that we know, love, but who have the tendency of sticking within a very certain rut of delivery. You know, like Tyrion has been pigeonholed as witty counsel, and Cersei is teeth kind of. Yes, well, maybe you shouldn't do that, should you? And they're both.
Please don't get any better at that impression, by the way. It's going to complicate our friendship.
They both pushed each other to outrageous acting limits. I loved it, and it's genuinely like things that have needed saying for whole seasons being said. Genuinely, they had me thinking that Tyrion could die here. They had me thinking that.
From Tyrion obviously meeting with Jaime previously, this is the scene that you wanted to see. These are the two people you wanted to have. You know, because Jaime obviously has issues with Tyrion anyway, but they are nothing compared to what Cersei.
It brought up some points I hadn't really considered personally, like, you know, Tyrion is ultimately culpable He didn't kill Joffrey, but then he became ultimately culpable for the deaths of her other 2 children. Like,
Yeah, there was a bit of me that
Sending
actually
her
went,
away.
actually,
Yeah, she's got a
I'm worried
point,
She's
you
got a
know.
bit of a point, yeah.
Yeah, he's been the architect of the Lannisters' destruction.
yeah.
But of course, the Lannisters deserve their destruction. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. See, like Cersei becoming proper, like losing her composure for the first time in the entire series. She doesn't even lose composure when she sees a dragon, but she can't deal with her brother. And I think that it's excellent.
Are these 2 the best 2 individual actors in the show? Is there anybody who runs them close?
Bran. I can't wait, by the way.
Shut up.
So we were talking about this the other day. I can't wait for Bran. You know, if you're an actor, being on something like Game of Thrones, the amount of time he's been on there is obviously going to be fantastic for a showreel going forward. But what's he going to put on there? Here's me not acting there, and there's some more of me not acting.
Oh,
No,
look,
I think
here am I wearing white contact.
I like that joke about how he somehow managed to like grow into looking like all 4 Beatles simultaneously. That of all the internet funnies I've seen about Game of Thrones this season, I think that's one of my favourites.
I think Jamie's exceptional. I think since Diana Rigg popped her clogs,
Since Charles Dance died.
yeah, really, like they are like Cersei and Tyrion are kind of holding it together from the light side and the dark side.
I think for that exact reason of Cersei hasn't, or has for the majority, but was also not just being purely like the essence of evil. Like you could argue that Joffrey back in the day was a really good actor because you genuinely hated him.
Yeah.
And the same with.
I actually thought Joffrey was tremendous. Like, I've not seen him in any other roles, so I don't know if this is just who
Batman?
he is.
That character, people don't talk about how good the actor who played Joffrey was because he had the ability to turn what could have been a very boring, I'm just evil character into something that is
Really
hateable in a
vicious,
really
yeah.
kind of human way because he's so petty and snivelling.
I want them all killed.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of a giant, well, what at the time was one of a fairly like big set piece, the rioting crowds and everybody trying to get out of it. In the midst of all that, he still managed to cut a clear path from the screen to the audience with just hate this instead.
Yeah.
Ignore all of this and hate him, which I always thought was incredible work.
And
So I think it's Joffrey, Ramsay. They've been great at being
Ramsay Bolton was
just
excellent,
gits, let's say.
Yeah.
But Cersei, as you say, and particularly in that scene, and I completely got sold down the river by her saying, "Yeah, absolutely, I'll help you out," because her fear, when she talked about looking down its throat and everything else disappeared and what have you. I think that's the reason why both Cersei and Tyrion.
Can we just
Right,
can
we've had
just
this
right
argument.
now? She's not pregnant, is she? She's absolutely not pregnant.
I think she's pregnant.
She's not pregnant.
She's not pregnant, but she's doing a very good job of selling it because, as I read somewhere else, the family have got a bit of a drinking problem, but she didn't touch the wine, did she?
No.
When Tyrion offered it to her.
She's not pregnant.
But I don't think
I
she's
think
pregnant.
she's
I'm
pregnant.
with.
She's not.
I'm
She's
with
not
Cleary.
pregnant. She obviously she's running out of ways. She knows that Jaime's becoming this like redeemed character. He's slightly more noble. He's not the everything for the family person that he once was. He knows there's a wider world out there. He has friends outside the family now.
Yeah.
And he's still close with Tyrion. She told him they're having a child to
He's got
to
friends
keep them.
outside the family.
Yeah, we never used to.
Who are these new friends?
Who's this Bronn? Why are you home late?
They're not going to you like I do.
Timestamp for another sorry about them. We wanted this out straight away. It's both complicated. But she's not
What does
For a
saying
family-
timestamp do?
I was hoping someone would then say the timestamp so that we know we can just skip to where the swear words are.
No, I haven't said it.
No.
You're a bit there, aren't
Anyway,
you?
she's not. For sake.
Yes,
She's
for a
not
family
pregnant.
for a family who's kept secrets for quite a while, doing this is a bit of
Talking about, I only care about my world and all this and rubbing her stomach. And wait a minute.
You had a big dinner.
You're pregnant and I figured it out by myself. Like, she gave him just enough to let him have that.
I think she was genuinely on the fence about killing Jaime, right? And I think everyone in the audience thought
I
that
thought she
Jaime's
was-
death was
yeah.
incoming.
Don't
And I
skip
think
ahead.
that only makes sense if she's really pregnant.
No, it doesn't. No, it
what,
doesn't.
baby brain.
No. Just like the fact that she was willing to go to that point of nodding to the mountain. I don't think she was capable of doing that with less than one other family member around.
That was the best nod of the entire.
Agreed.
Not even more of the entire season. Nod of the
season. Where is the trophy?
I would.
She's not pregnant though. She's not pregnant though.
Yeah,
And she's done everybody a kipper and you by the looks of it.
Maybe.
She has so much more bargaining power as a pregnant woman. Please.
Yeah.
Danny is less
seats on
likely.
buses. She can get a
Danny is
seat on
less
a
likely
bus.
to roast her alive
Yep.
if she's got a baby in her.
Please.
Sorry?
She can get a seat on a bus if she's pregnant.
What do you bring to this?
Notes.
Right, the pit. Back to the pit. So she's like, oh, well, you know what? I've had some time to reconsider, and since my brother figured out that I'm pregnant, despite me giving him no indication of it whatsoever, I've decided to send all my armies north to fight in this great big war I only just heard out about 10 minutes ago. In amongst all that, Dany basically dares Jon to get her pregnant. I can't have children. You could sling it up me as much as you like. It won't take.
Won't take.
Now, we all know what foreshadowing is, don't we?
Yes.
Who thinks Dany's going to be pregnant come season 8 at some point? Can I have a show of hands?
She's certainly going to be more pregnant than Cersei.
More pregnant Cersei is, which is none.
Some pregnant.
Which is some pregnant.
She's going to have a Drolf inside her.
I'm told by James Hunt.
A wagon! She's going to have a wagon! She's going to give birth to a wagon.
Don't understand.
Wolf and dragon, mate.
Oh, Drulf. Right, okay. Yeah, okay.
Wagon.
It's been a long season, hasn't it?
It's been a long 2 weeks, to be fair.
Hello,
Hello.
I'm a wagon.
Imagine if it comes out
I'm
as
the
part
king.
dragon.
Sorry?
Imagine if it comes out as part dragon. He's got tiny little unfunctional wings on his back. Little scaly.
Kit Harington's face.
Sneezes fire.
Sneezes fire.
That's all we can do it.
I need allies. Shh, you've just been born. Enjoy childhood. Can you? No.
No, I only feel pain. I am my father's son.
I have pooed, and this is deeply embarrassing for all of us. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna leave us with a moment of silence for you to reflect on that.
Do you think if Jon Snow has a kid, when he holds his kid, he'll smile? Or do you be just
No.
like, oh, what world you've been born into?
I'm so happy.
Bonnie,
Look at me.
aren't you cute?
This child will eventually die. And to prevent it, we need allies.
Right. Okay. Was anybody sold on Cersei's thing? When
What
she
thing?
came back?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I said,
you were sold?
Absolutely.
They literally brought a box of dead dude to her and be just like, look, right? There's
No, but that
that.
didn't sell her the first time. She had to go back and talk with Tyrion and then
He
came
did
back.
sell it. It's John's not.
She was
wanting
covering
to
her
lie.
arse initially.
We've just discussed that she was never up for it in the first place. Now she comes back. Oh, it's fine. We send all my armies north.
Look, you're
I think it's
asking, you're
wishful
asking
thinking.
who believed her. I believed her.
I think it's wishful thinking because you want everyone to be like, come on.
I believed her until the point where she said, when all this is over, perhaps you'll remember that I did this without assurances or any of that. And I was like, right. As I exposed myself slightly in ups and downs, I have sold people on it. I'm going to give you everything you'll want lie before.
Right.
And that's exactly how you do it. Oh, you know what? Oh, it's bad for me. It's really bad for me. Be aware of how bad for me it is.
I'm not happy about this, but go on then.
Oh, go on then.
Right.
And as soon as she did that, I was like, no way. No way is she doing that, despite how much it's putting her out. I knew it. I didn't know exactly what it was she was
You've
doing.
played that game
I've
before.
played that.
You invented
I'm
that
good
game.
at that game. So,
In the game of Cleary.
in the game of Cleary, you win, or you... All I do is
Get
win.
rock hard for Cersei.
All I do is win. It's fine. Get rock hard for Cersei. You know what? People tweet me asking where my merch is, and I think just a T-shirt with "Get rock hard for Cersei" could be the way to go with that.
With
If
your face on
Yeah,
it.
if anyone's got a Redbubble account, sort that out for me, or just design it and I'll make it myself. It's the last one. We might as well go all in. We all happy to leave the negotiations there for now and we'll come back to Jaime and Cersei. Is that anything else you wanted to cover about that? That was
No.
40 minutes, of the episode.
Wow.
That was
Was
40
it?
minutes up until
Wow.
that bit. We hadn't left the pit or King's Landing.
I did like
40 minutes.
John's. Do you think she could have just been lying when she said she couldn't have kids? Line. Just Just put it out there.
That was James Hunt has told me that the prophecy to which she's referring comes up a lot more in the book. She constantly talks about it, whereas it's only been vague.
Remind me again what the prophecy is.
The prophecy was that she basically can't have her. She's cursed now.
Until the sun rises in the west and sets in the east and the mountains fall or something.
The lady who she saved.
Mountains fall.
Yeah, this is the thing. It's one of those things that I've seen fans try and argue it. Like, well, it might not mean a mountain. She might mean the mountain.
We love a reach here, don't we? We love a reach. We so badly love a reach.
Well, what if the sun? Maybe it's not the sun, as in it's someone's son who rises. He rises when Cersei comes on screen.
Hey! Wait!
I don't know.
Why do you think we shoot this with a table up to my midriff? Way back when the Dothraki
table's supposed to be much further down.
the Dothraki attacked that village, raped and pillaged Daenerys saved the woman and said, "Hey, I'm kind. Look, I've saved you." And she said, "Oh, thank you. That's very nice of you. Can I tend to your husband's wounds?" Said, "Yes, of course. We must build trust." So she said, "Right, we'll see about this." Poisoned Khal Drogo, killed him, and put a curse on Cersei, who was just pregnant at the time with Khal's with the Khal's child. He's not called Khal. I know people who think he's called Khal Drogo.
Hi, Khal Drogo.
Here's my friend Lenny Drogo. Put a curse on him, so she lost the baby. The baby came out as a monster, and Khal died. And she knows she won't have another child as a result because she was cursed. This was ages ago, and she's still convinced.
The only person who can impregnate a Targaryen.
John was like, maybe it's. She wanted to hurt you. She might have just said that out of spite, as people do. Obviously, I've given that delivery there. There's a lot more energy and enthusiasm.
What if she was telling a lie? What if you really can have bait? Give me 10 good men and some climbing spikes and I'll impregnate the bitch.
Not that I'm saying you're a bitch, of course. I'd
Just
never...
to call back fan service, which we love now.
So we'll leave that there. We went to Winterfell.
Indeed.
Where Littlefinger was getting his end game.
Where Adam Cleary
was getting his end game in Sansa's ear.
Right.
Obviously, with an aim of getting something else in her something else.
Yes. To rule the North as father and son.
I'm going to do all this as one thing because I can't be bothered to skip back to it. So we'll talk about the trial and all of this as one go.
Okay.
Now, I liked this. I jumped out of my chair and cheered when he died, despite my own, investment in the scene as literally Littlefinger. I cheered because, obviously, I thought it was great and it was nice to go back together. But was this actually a terrible story with a terrible ending? The Winterfell sub.
I watched your ups and downs thing, and I went in going, when you said this is rubbish, and I went, "Oh, don't talk nonsense." I was like, "Yeah, this is great." I was exactly the same, and then I was like, "Actually, your point about which you'll get
James's
to."
point. I wanted to point this out and think I loved this. I thought it was brilliant. Then in the morning I came in as I do and I read James's ups and downs to get like a good sort of indication of everything's going because he knows a lot more than we do, as you've probably learned by now. And he had that as a down, and I was like, "Don't talk rubbish."
Yeah.
That was a brilliant moment, and his explanation of it being, look, it never really made sense when you look at all the individual things they did, and for that to be the payoff for it doesn't properly resolve anything. It's very unsatisfying. It wastes what should have been a great moment.
It's sort of, I guess you could say it's a bit indicative of this series as a whole, this season, in that moment-wise, amazing, compelling, edgy seat telly, and like when it happened, you were like, ah! But actually looking back on it, actually maybe it doesn't quite hang together.
What they wanted to do was they decided in the season finale we're going to have Arya kill Littlefinger and all the Stark children will be united. Great idea, great way to end that. And then they've gone, right, how do we get there from episode 1? Inherently, the problem with that is things aren't cohesive. You know what I mean?
It's cohesive as in it was very tricky, manipulative telly. It was cohesive as you got Littlefinger's plan from start to finish, but the entire thing rested upon get Sansa to kill Arya,
divide and conquer,
seduce Sansa, and rule the North as husband and wife.
But he wanted to get Jon off the throne, right? There was a suggestion that Jon was going to marry the Dragon Queen, right? We should unseat Jon, which would inevitably cause a conflict, right? Littlefinger's plan ultimately is to get on the Iron Throne. He's made that clear with Sansa as his wife. How on earth does starting a conflict with Jon and Dany over who rules the North benefit that plan in any way?
Dany can have Jon killed.
Why would Dany have Jon killed?
You say they're causing a conflict between those two?
No, between him and Sansa, the North, and Jon and Dany as well.
Does it unite them against...
Yes,
Okay.
them against
Oh,
the
I
North.
see. Oh, right.
Surely, if his ultimate plan is to get on the throne, he wants to support that until they're there, and then somehow just usurp.
I think it's going to be one of those things...
Because if he marries Sansa,
Right.
that would mean he was in line to the throne.
I mean, was that his, like...
Because think about it, if he thinks Jon's going to marry Dany, that puts Jon as an heir to the throne. Because he doesn't know that Jon's obviously the actual heir. Dany would sit on it, which means it would pass. If they didn't have children, it would pass to Jon.
Yeah.
Right? And then if he was married to Sansa, if Jon died, it would pass to Sansa. And then if Sansa died, it would pass to him. I could be wrong about that. That's my loose sort of workings out off the top of my head.
I get it.
Is he definitely sure that that's... Are you sure that he wanted to be on the Iron Throne?
Yes,
And-
he's
said
made
it
it perfectly clear to Varys on quite a number
What
of
did he
occasions.
say? He said, I work out whether or not this will benefit me getting on...
Yeah.
Everything I do,
Everything
I
I
think,
do.
will this get me any closer to getting on the Iron Throne? And if it does, then I do it, regardless of what it is. That's what he said before.
okay.
I think this is going to be one of those things where... Because obviously we've been watching it week by week, and I think you get, as you say, I think you get carried away in the whole, let's get Littlefinger killed, he needs to die this season, etc., etc. I think it's going to be one of those things when you watch this season back from the beginning, now knowing how it ends, I think you're right. I think you'll go, this doesn't make any sense. Like the scenes with Arya and Sansa, and you're like...
The thing is, like, his plan was never going to work. Like, even, like, during the episode, I was like, Sansa cannot be this thick. And she wasn't.
No.
But, like...
I thought...
I'm going to put the questions to you that I said to an empty room when I did Ups and Downs about this, which is why I can't get my head around it. Now, it transpired that at the very end, Arya and Sansa were working together.
Mm-hmm.
When did that start happening? Were they working together the whole time?
I think in the scene, Sansa says that the moment she had the realization was when he did the let's play a game thing.
Okay. So let's say she literally worked out what was going on as he
As
was
he
giving
carefully
that speech.
explained, yeah.
So that means that the tension between her and Arya was real before that.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Right. Arya repeatedly would not listen to Sansa. Sansa, this is what Cersei wants. She kept track. She reasoned with her a couple of times. This is what Cersei wants to see us fighting. Didn't care. Why then, her going to Littlefinger, this is what Littlefinger wants to see us fighting. Why did that suddenly get Arya on side? Bran?
I think you're completely spot on. I think they've written themselves into a corner
Yeah.
here.
They're just kind of like...
And they just went, oh, we'll just not put Arya on screen for a bit, and then when she comes back, we'll just pretend this has somehow been resolved in a back room somewhere.
Like, Bran being there kind of implies that he had something to do with it. Like, he used his vision to sort of, like, show them both.
Yeah,
But
his charisma really
why
wins
didn't he do
people
that?
over.
If he can see everything that's going on, right, when Littlefinger gave him the dagger, why didn't he just suss out his plan and tell the other two?
Yeah, I mean,
Why is that dragged on?
the Bran stuff is objectively silly.
Do you want to read my notes for Bran?
F***ing Bran.
That's my notes for Bran.
For me, like, it's... And I need to rewatch the scene with the two of them on the ramparts. But for me, it's just like they don't like each other. They still don't like each other, but they're family.
Yeah.
And, like, really, their family tie never really made them close to betraying each other, despite the fact that Sansa doesn't like Arya, and Arya definitely doesn't like Sansa.
But if you come
they
for
do
one
like
of them, then they'll stand
Yeah,
together.
they're a pack.
Okay.
Well, it was that last line,
Wolves.
wasn't it? Was in When Winter Comes, the
pack survives.
The pack survives, whatever the actual quote is.
I do think, I completely agree that they just wrote, we need to Littlefinger, and then let's work back from
we
there.
need to do a scene where Arya pointlessly implies she's going to murder Sansa for no real reason.
But for all of that, and I know we'll all agree on this, for all of that, this doesn't make sense. The bit where she goes, how do you answer these charges? Lord Baelish. And we all went,
I watched that back, and Sophie Turner does not get a lot of credit for acting. Probably rightly so, given the people so well. Also
None
the
of the
show.
Stark kids really do.
Her pause in that line, honestly, it's about 5 times longer than you're remembering it is. How do you answer these charges? Lord Baelish.
And his acting, to be fair,
He was good,
absolutely
yeah.
brilliant.
Because that's the first time he's ever had to do that in the show.
That's we've had best nod. That's best blink of the series when he just went,
Lady Sansa.
I'm confused.
Well, that's quite good, that. His accent came back for the last episode. So he knew he was going to die.
His begging was a joy to watch, though. His especially because of the layout of it all, the soldiers all around him, and him sort of trying to go to people, and then in the end, begging, leaning on the table, saying, "If we can just have a word in private," which is like in front of everyone saying that as well.
Ben sent me an absolutely brilliant internet funny about this. Lord Baelish goes up to your man and says,
Lord of the Vale.
I'm Lord of the Vale. I demand you escort me safely back. And then the reply is just, you cannot fast travel when enemies are around. So yes, that storyline, I think, was the last sort of atypical Game of Thrones backstabbing political motive twist that was left in the series, because everything else is now giant warfare.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only real Game of Thrones style Game of Thrones moment they could have.
I mean, it's set up to be a more complicated series than it's going to be. Like, with Cersei ready to screw everyone over, she's ready to do it. That still leaves it up in the air.
What do you guys make of the theory? You've mentioned that it's just going to be all out war now, of the people saying, yes, obviously Arya slit his throat with the knife that he held to Ned's throat, blah, blah, but she didn't cut his face. Do you think there's any that holds any water?
Why would she cut his face?
No, as in she didn't cut his face, so she can, in theory, that's.
I
She
think
didn't have his face.
I think simply from a sensible standpoint, if you're whether or not you're intending to use it, you take Littlefinger's face, wouldn't you? That
Very
could be
useful face.
He's the
But yeah,
Lord of
is
the
that
Vale.
what I'm saying? Do you
He
think that?
commands an army.
Do you think that's going to play into anything in the future, or do you think that's just?
I don't know, but simply as somebody who in his life is prudent, I would just take that face just in case.
Take that face.
Just in case. So we leave Winterfell for the last time this season. Yeah, you heard. And we get Theon's little moment.
Oh,
You know what? Theon is as Adam Cleary would often say, a wet lunch. But
No, dry lunch.
a dry lunch.
He's a dry lunch, that kid.
He's a Greyjoy. He's a wet lunch. Surely a soaking wet, soppy lunch.
Look, don't appropriate my things and then use them.
I attributed it.
A dry lunch is bad.
Oh, I understand. A wet lunch is surely bad. You don't want your sandwich getting wet.
No, a wet lunch when you have a pint with your lunch.
Oh. I thought a wet lunch was literally like a soggy sandwich.
No, you can call him a soggy sandwich if you like.
He's a soggy
He's
sandwich.
a soggy sandwich, that boy.
I loved him using the power of having no dick to
That was
get-
incredible. His little smirk. You can't hurt me. I've got no
I mean,
cock.
he can and he had. He'd punch him in the face quite a lot.
Yeah.
But that one moment of
He hulks
just,
up.
I'm Ken. I'm a Ken doll, so you can't hurt me.
Works for the Unsullied, to be fair.
Indeed.
He took care of the guy really quickly. It was one headbutt and a couple of punches after getting his ass
Good on him.
FedEx to him.
Good on him. Did you feel that Theon and Jon needed a resolution to that? Because I wasn't expecting to see them have any major
No,
interactions.
I don't think they needed it. But of all the people to kind of bolster Theon, like get him to screw his courage to the sticking place, Jon's the right person for that.
Yeah, and you mentioned in Ups and Downs the story arc of Theon. I think that just adds to it a little bit. I think you
Second-
didn't need it. But
Second most satisfying story arc, I think Theon's on now after Jamie.
And again,
He's
as you
been
said,
everywhere.
as you said, we've mentioned great actors. I think he deserves a lot of credit for his
Yeah,
work over the whole series.
I think it's time Alfie Allen got a bit of a nod, because if you look at like the different personalities Theon Greyjoy's had over the course of the entire show, like just smarmy, arrogant, horrible little shit. He's been like a badly conniving, like duplicitous schemer.
Oh yeah, and just like seeing his plans crumble in
Yeah.
front of his eyes.
Completely broken. He's been absolutely destitute, and now he's discovering courage and bravery and nobility. I think he's nailed them all. To be fair,
His reek was amazing to watch. He's like when he stood there watching Sansa and thingy on their wedding night.
Ugh, right.
Sam and Bran.
So
no,
we're back
we
to
got-
Cersei and Jamie
yeah.
now.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
hands up. Who thought Jamie was dead here?
I thought Jamie was dead on several occasions.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend screamed and left the room when he just went like the nod and the little.
She left the room.
As in, she sort of. It's when you have one of those moments when you're watching a TV show, and whether it's a cringy moment or like this, you almost have to be like, right, we need to stop this now for a minute, and then I need to have a little bit of a walk around and a little bit of a think, and then come back. It was that. It felt like that at the time.
I want to ask a different show of hands. Who thought Jamie should have died?
There's still time.
I didn't at the time. I thought he was going to, and I was glad he didn't. But I talked to somebody about this.
Can you talk? Yeah, is this the death scene that you wrote?
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
good.
Yeah, you
It's really
loved
good.
it. Right,
Yes.
where did we come up with this?
How Adam Cleary should have
Pub
died.
quiz.
Was it? You were literally in the pub,
Yeah.
and this jumped into my head as I was. It was creating itself as I was saying it. But I'm going to do this. How do you normally do this when you tell people how they
should have written?
I could do it better.
Right, this is what they should have done. Right, she orders the mountain to kill him.
Right.
She does. Right, there's a bit more of a tease, a bit more of dialogue, but she orders the mountain to kill him. Right, and you can entirely disbelieve that it's going to happen. But then the mountain just puts his sword through his chest, effectively impaling him to the wall. Right, and which hand is no hand?
He's right-handed.
Right hand's
so.
gold, is it?
Yeah.
Yep.
It'll be left, and we'll get pelters for that in the comments. But anyway, so he's got his golden hand.
I'll give you.
You're Cersei, right? She's this far away from him, right? And he's like coughing up blood, and he reaches out. You know the prophecy about him strangling. He reaches out with his golden hand, just like that, and he obviously can't close his hand or strangle it because it's just made of gold, and like that. And she's just sort of like doesn't even flinch, just sort of stares him down as he's doing it, and he dies with his hand around her throat.
I thought it would be brilliant.
And then he just kind of drops, and she just sort of looks at him like that. And that would have been, oh.
I think he should have died because Cersei is planning on betraying everybody and taking back all the lands when they go to the wall.
And the only person who knows that
It's Jaime.
is Jaime.
And the fact that he's riding off to join the other side immediately makes that...
Is he? Is that where he's going?
Yep.
Tyrion. He's going straight to Tyrion.
Yep.
Are we sure?
Where else is he going?
I was worried he was going to die even when he was outside and it started snowing. I thought it was going to be like...
Tell them.
You know when that thing dropped? I think I was so scared and so like, don't do this, that when he was outside and he just looked at his hand, I'm really worried it's his left hand now. Maybe he's left-handed.
I think it is his left
yeah.
hand.
Either way. When he looked at his hand and it's obviously the snow falling, I thought for some ridiculous reason it was going to be the mountain stood behind him, dribbling on his hand, and then he died. Like the worst death
Like
ever.
an alien.
Yeah.
I thought even as he rode off, I thought the mountain was going to be stood by his boat or something, and they were going to have a fight on the beach. I genuinely thought that Jaime was gone, and kudos to the show for making you think that, and just like because I don't think anyone blinked for that 2 minutes.
Is it indicative of the season as a whole that we've had virtually no major character deaths for probably the first time? Like Littlefinger feels like a big one, but
Yeah.
he did very little this season. He wasn't important to the story anymore.
And Olenna
lovely moment, but she was only in a handful of
Brilliant
episodes
moment.
anyway.
Dragon.
A dragon, yeah, but one of the dragon, not Drogon. You know what I mean? Like the other dragon. There's been
The
no.
Adam Cleary of the dragons. He brought notes.
I am the notes. Oh, I can't believe you've done that. I can't believe
Can't
you've done
believe
that.
you've done this.
I can't believe you've done this. Yeah, go on then, Drogon, you host.
All right. So, like, yeah, we've not seen any major deaths, and you thought obviously it's a grand
Drogon.
finale. Pardon?
Drogon.
Drogon didn't die, did he?
No, do you not?
No.
I don't know anything. I'm Adam Blunt. Yeah. I get all the names wrong.
It was, what was it? Valesian?
Valerian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vince.
Vince
the dragon died.
McDragon.
Vince McDragon.
Go on then.
Yeah, I think
I'm
they're just-
sorry for interrupting
Ron
your
Bran.
show.
Right, he didn't die, did he?
They're just piling
Bran
all
is
into the
dead.
final series, as you said, because they want to make. They can't kill anyone else in case people go, as I said.
Oh, I liked
if they
him.
stop killing them, if they do kill them, then I'm not watching.
Yeah.
So
They've
everyone's-
whittled it down to beloved television characters.
Who would
now.
not watch if Jamie died? Come along.
It's not a case-
I'd be there.
It's not a case of not watching. It's just when you're going into your final season, you command less star power. Certain people are out of it. You know what I mean?
Jamie should have gone.
Jamie should have gone, and I think if we were still being led by the books, Bron would have died fighting the dragon.
Yep.
Jamie could possibly have died fighting the dragon, or later. I think Sansa might be dead. Just another one, isn't it?
Do you reckon George is just on the phone after every episode going, "What the f- are you doing? Why is
Tormund,
no one dying?"
Tormund and Beric would have died.
Can't
north
believe
of the wall.
Tormund's still alive. That's brilliant.
Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But first, we're going to go to Bran. Bran with his incredibly specific, plot-dependent superpowers of.
The fact that we're at the point with Bran where someone could just go, look, could you just pop back to the past and see if this thing definitely happens? Cheers, Bran. Oh, it did? Cool.
I said in Ups and Downs that, like, Sam retained more knowledge about this wedding and this connection between Rhaegar and Lyanna. He retained more of that by talking over the top of his wife than Bran did by literally going into the past and watching it.
Oh.
And a lot of people tweet going, well, he doesn't know it was there. He had to look for it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he only knew that because he was getting fed
to know where you're
misinformation. He had to
going.
know where he was going. Who told him about his sister's wedding night then? He found that easy enough, didn't he? He found the sexual assault of his sister unprompted.
He was probably looking for what was been happening with his siblings, right?
Right.
He's probably been keeping keep an eye on them. He wasn't thinking, let's have a butcher's back in Rhaegar and Lyanna's.
Yes,
pub.
but when he found out that Rhaegar and Lyanna, had a child, right, and that started Robert's rebellion, surely, like, the kidnapping element of it,
Yeah,
that maybe was worth a look, given that he knows how important it
Fair
is.
enough.
Once the Three-Eyed Raven, the original, well, not the original, but the Three-Eyed Raven prior to him kept taking him there and showing him this and blah, blah, blah. Did he not think, maybe there's something to look into here?
Yeah.
Not just like,
Maybe I'll
that was a
cover
good
this from all
sword
angles.
fight. Should we watch that again? That was a really good fight, wasn't it?
And also, I can see a lot of things now, like everything's going on in the past and in the present. By the way, why are you here?
What's that?
Like,
Oh, yeah.
like he said, I can see everything. Like,
Yeah, you can't
in
see the future,
past
but
and
yeah,
the
he
present,
surely-
what people are doing. By the way, why are you here? Why didn't Sam just go? Well, you tell me, smart ass. Like, it's so like they're so vaguely defined what his powers are, and they're so conveniently used for the sake.
He's
of the
become
plot.
a plot contrivance in a chair.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
get out of jail free card, isn't he? He's just like, Bran found out
Bran-
about
I,
it.
I imagine
knew.
that's what they'll use with the little. Like, how did Arya and Sansa know that he was going into? Just Bran. Bran was there. Bran told him.
Bran told him about the time he held a throat to his dagger.
All these
Dad's
soldiers,
dagger,
like,
throat
oh yeah,
dagger.
Littlefinger's definitely guilty. Let's not help him because the weird kid who sees time through a tree said that he held a knife to somebody's throat like 7 years ago, however long it would have been in storyline.
Everyone's talking about spin-offs from Game of Thrones. Like, I want to see Tyrion and Varys go off and start their own city. I want to see
Open a shop.
Yeah. That's what you have to do, the stock taking. But I want to see.
Extreme fishing with Braun.
I want to see Bran and his tree just travel around, seeing things.
What are you calling that?
Stark and Bark.
So that's some guy.
Do you know what? I put you on the spot there to expose you, and instead you've just made me love you more. Yeah, right. Is that much of a revelation? Like, we obviously knew that really, we knew they were already married. Like, we picked that up. Does this feel like a big moment that other people know about it now?
Yeah, I think that's just the importance of it. It's just other people finding out.
I'd say it's not the big moment until Jon knows. It doesn't matter who else knows. Tell Jon because it's really frustrating.
I would say it's not the big moment until Dany knows. Now, for all I hated that Bran bit, and I really don't like the fact that we've gone from incest is horrible in season 1 to yay incest in season 7.
Now look at hang on now. Tyrion's face is very much a kind of is very much an audience cipher often Tyrion, and he was just like, well, this is all sorts of bad for all sorts of reasons.
Yeah,
He doesn't even know why it's bad though.
No.
There's a lot of different theories as to why that is, though, isn't there?
He loves her.
Oh well,
He loves her. He's worried about
it's going to
Dany
get complicated.
Danny actually getting pregnant,
Yep.
Yeah.
and Dany forgetting the whole this is a democracy and going back all the way back to this is there's a hierarchy, this is passed
very
down
good
and
shout.
what have you. So I think
Also, the fact that your two key allies becoming romantically entangled is a terrible idea.
I'll tell you why it's awful. But for that, I liked the shot where he was talking over what happened with Rhaegar and Lyanna. He loved her, shot at Jon Snow. She loved him, shot of Dany. I thought it was nicely shot, if I hated every element of it.
Yeah.
Now,
They they made it. They kind of. They did very, very clever TV to make it
Yep,
feel like
that
that
was very
moment
good.
had been earned. Because really, had them falling in love really been earned?
they kind of teased it a bit after she rescued him.
yeah, I think I'm glad that they're not long played it in terms of episodes, but they long played it in terms of everyone was thinking, and the first time they meet each other, there's going to be loads of sexual tension, and they just were just like, no, I
It makes
hate
sense
you.
though. Like he's
It's
still not over his ex, and she's effectively on holiday. Like
Yeah, he's on a rebound, and she's
she's away.
He's on an
isn't she?
18 to 30.
She's
Yeah.
away. She's away on a boat for a bit. There's a young lad on it. Why not?
Tyrion is the sun-sex and suspicious parents.
Tyrion is
Sorry.
Tyrion is everybody in halls. Everybody in halls whose flatmate got with somebody they liked. You're standing in the hallway like that could be anything. That could be anything. It's not.
It could just be
They're
She
at it.
doesn't love him.
They're at it.
That's just a fling.
Oh, poor Jorah.
Now,
I imagine the final scene is just Tyrion and Jorah just like.
I'd like it if Jorah had walked out and Tyrion had to try and usher him away. Jorah, mate, let's go. Should we go get a drink or something? Do you want to?
I would love if
Danny.
the opening shot of season 8 was Jorah having breakfast and Jon coming in Danny's robe and just like sort of like embarrassed going, oh,
You all right, mate?
Drinking it,
You're
taking
right,
Jorah's
Picking
entire cup of orange juice
This
and
is yours,
necking
isn't
it.
Oh, sorry,
Oh,
man.
I needed that.
She said I could just have anything. Is that all right? Is this not yours, is it? Oh, sorry, man. I'm just so
Picking
thirsty.
the triple dragon pendant out of his hair. Oh god.
Pulling a blonde hair out of his teeth. Now, what is Dany's main motivation in Game of Thrones? What drives her character?
Apparently getting her dick wet. What is her key motivation? Being on the Iron Throne.
It is. No, it's not being on the throne. It's being convinced without a shadow of a doubt that she is the heir, the true heir, the only true heir to the Iron Throne. She's just booked the true heir. Now, we can discuss whether that's fair. She is older. However, Jon is the heir to the Iron Throne.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, he is.
Well, since like Robert Baratheon kind of usurped the other king, that kind of cuts off Jon Snow's heir to the Iron Throne, right?
Well,
Because then just a new line starts with the Baratheons.
sort of.
I think by the books, by the old way of working.
But they're on
Like,
a
once it moved from Tudors to Stuarts, the son of the Tudors wasn't the heir to the throne. It was the son of the Stuarts.
Yeah, but Dany's going to take the throne,
Right.
and she's got a claim. Basically, her claim on the throne. No, but her claim on the throne is based on the Targaryen descendancy, and now she's not.
I guess.
By her own motivations and logic for doing this, she no longer.
Yeah,
has a
yeah.
claim.
The important thing is that according to in Danny's mind, he's the heir. He's the
Yeah.
rightful heir. That's the important thing.
Now, he doesn't want the throne,
Nope.
but he would have to take it.
Because of nobility.
Yes, this is going to be problematic, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I think everyone. That's the thing is everyone just wants to see how Dany reacts.
What if this could be the catalyst to make her the ultimate evil of the series? She's come this far. Think about everything she's been through to get to this point, and she's gonna have to give it up for a dude.
God.
For literally just one beheading, nobody else would know about it. All she got to do, kill this one dude, and it's fine. She could be put in a position where the army of the dead are gone, the Lannisters are gone. Only thing that stands between her and the throne is Jon Snow.
I don't want it anyway.
Well, sorry, pal, you don't get a say.
But brilliant. It's like I think what everyone was worried about going into Series 8 was when it becomes living versus dead, is it too simplistic? And there are a couple of really good complications that we've got still to come in Series 8. That's one of them. Cersei's one of them.
Tyrion. Has Tyrion cut a deal with Cersei in that back room? We didn't see exactly what he said. He just came out and went, "Yep, that's all sorted."
Oh,
So
Nobody asked him for any specifics.
indeed.
Although I can't see that.
Not really.
And I don't want to get too much into what's going to happen in Season 8 because we're going to be doing yet another episode of this to sort of ask for forgiveness for it being late as we slept our weary bodies when we were meant to be filming this.
Yeah.
So we're going to get into the sort of season as a whole and looking at Season 8 in another episode. But what I can ask you both, after we've discussed The Wall, is how this figured as a season finale. But The Wall...
Ah, yes.
Now-
the greatest death of the season.
The greatest death of the season, I agree with that. Was this all a big trap by the Night King?
To lure a dragon
Yes.
over the wall.
Because obviously there's no other way around it.
I don't know how he would put in the mind that they needed a White Walker. Like it's a really shoddy movie land plan if it is, because it requires Cersei to be so stubborn that she would require a White Walker in order to get her on side.
Well, what if he knows? What if he knew that? What if the Night King is a character who has that kind of vision? What if it is
What's he
literally
a-
Bran?
is it called a seer?
Everyone's-
Is that right?
That's the new theory, isn't it? Sorry?
It's been doing the rounds for a while, that one.
yeah,
The Bran is the Night King.
Ever since that scene where you see the children of the forest create him. Bran's whole body language and positioning in that.
Who was the Night? Did we find out who the Night King was when he got the thing put in him?
No, it's just a human.
just a person. Yeah,
One of the first men.
Why did the children create him?
Because
They
they were fighting men.
yeah, they were
and
destroying
losing.
their
I see.
forest.
forests. Yeah. Yes, the
Idiot.
theory is that it's somebody who knows that they need a White Walker. So
Do-
people were like, "Oh, look, it's taken them. This is annoying. The time traveling thing. It's taken them 7 episodes to get from flipping Hardhome to Eastwatch when it's that big, and every other character's gone here and there. They were waiting.
It would make that
they were
make
waiting
more
for them to
sense. Yeah.
come.
Show their hand and then obviously take what they need.
Yep.
The Night King riding a dragon.
He looked really bored. That annoys me. What a
He always
thrill.
looks bored.
A big grin on his
When
face.
he got... I love that.
Yeah, wooing.
I can see my house from up here.
The bit- only
God,
bit
we're
that-
really tedious, aren't we?
Yeah.
The only bit that really confused me, and I texted you immediately after watching the episode, was what exactly was the
blue.
dragon fire? But then you explained it,
Well, fire can get so
Yeah.
hot as to be blue.
Yes.
and there's been flipping
You've
green
seen a, You've seen
fire.
a Bunsen burner, yes?
Yes, and there's probably
Yeah.
magic involved.
The top of the blue bit of the Bunsen burner is hotter than the yellow stuff.
Yes, it is. Yes. So it could be that, but it could also be something to do with magic.
Yeah,
I mean, it
I
is
think it's
flying
got
with
both.
massive holes in its wings, which is literally impossible.
Yes.
So, maybe there's something going on that it's not quite on our level of comprehension just yet.
More cameos here as well, which no one would have spotted.
Go on.
Bastille, members of the band Bastille, and
Really?
members of the heavy metal band Mastodon were all part of the White Walkers. I think Bastille were on the walk up,
All right.
and Mastodon was as they panned across. Ed Sheeran, take note.
That's
is
how you do it.
How you do your cameo.
I need to be told about a cameo after the fact, not sit there going, "What is this rubbish?" Does that all make sense as a plan? Do you think that's a good way to have presented that? The Night King knew what they were going to do, waited for them to get a dragon, and then used the dragon.
I think
to
it's a reach, but I think it could be argued.
And it would explain possibly the time it's taken and the chains and the sort of bait and switch.
Yeah,
that they
probably that's
had.
why he took
Yeah, he had
Hardhome.
the chain.
That's why he took Hardhome
get those chains.
for the chains.
So it's better than this is pretty lucky that we found a dragon, I
Yeah.
suppose. So.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I would prefer it to be that because that makes it a lot neater, but it is very contrived.
I think as with the Littlefinger death scene, I'll allow it for what it leads to, basically.
Tormund and Beric,
They're all right,
can I
aren't
get show of
they?
hands? Alive, both?
Alive.
Both?
They don't kill Beric. You'd go if it was just Beric. You go maybe they kill him, but
Just
then why would you keep bringing him back for him
Show
to die
him
like
falling.
this?
Why would you not have
Technically-
that be a moment and make the moment even bigger?
Technically, they have killed them. I mean, I think they're alive. But if you actually look at how they shot it, they killed them because Tormund runs along, the thing collapses behind him. He turns around, and the whole thing drops out. He's like, oh, I've survived. Literally, the next shot is that entire section of the wall he's on.
Now, the thing is,
coming down.
You say that. I thought it was the section away to the sea that went down.
No, because it starts crumbling towards the sea, but it kind of goes that way in. And then he's running that way. So technically the bit he's on.
I remember when I watched it, I was like, the Tormund sense in my brain didn't be like, oh, he's dead.
No, they've absolutely not killed him off. But I think through their own shoddy editing, they've ineffectively killed him. He's not dead.
Gosh, well, take that.
Take that, hubba. As a season finale, how did it fare for you?
It felt like a season finale.
Why?
It felt like a slightly shonkily put together finale to a slightly shonkily put together season with great moments. The only for me, I love the wall coming down, but I think the problem was that we called it in day one.
Your exact words were the final shot of this season is going to be the wall coming down and them stepping foot into it. Like you said that. After
But
episode
that's
one.
just I think everyone thought that. And which is a bit of a problem because Game of Thrones, its whole gimmick is unpredictability. But
Very quickly, we've got 30 seconds.
I think it was good. I think as a whole, as you said, it's the same with the season. They don't want to blow their load before the final season, and they're just building up to that. It's a microcosm of everything that's happened this season.
Lovely. Well, thank you very much for joining us on the last Whatculture proper. As I say, we'll be back with another one, looking at the season as a whole and forward to season 8 later in the week. We might even record it today, if you're lucky. Until then, I have been Adam. I've been joined by Adam and Adam. And from the Council of Adams, thank you very much for joining us this season. And we'll see you all very soon.
love you.
Bye.